Oh, shalom and welcome to Torah and Coffee. It's that time of week again where we read the Torah portion for the week, enjoying it with a cup of coffee. Or some of you may drink tea. You know, the other day I had the pleasure, which was yesterday, to drink a cup of peppermint tea. But there was something special about that. I got the peppermint from my own plant that I'm growing, and I dried them and I in the oven, crumbled them up. Then I put them in the Keurig coffee container, that permanent cup where you can put coffee or tea in. I put the leaves in there, and I put boiling hot water over them and let them soak for a while. Oh, that was so good. So, hey, why don't you join me now for Torah and coffee, or tea if you prefer tea. I know some people drink tea instead of coffee, so, but we're still going to call Torah and coffee. So let's sit back and enjoy the reading, starting in Numbers chapter 13, followed by Joshua 2, and then in the BeritHadasah or New Testament in Hebrews chapter 3. So let's start in Numbers chapter 13, verse 1. Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, "Sent men to scout the land of Canaan, which I am giving to Bnei Israel, and one man from each of their ancestral tribes, each one a chieftain among them." So Moshe, by Yahweh's command, sent them out from the wilderness of Paran, all the men being leaders of the Israelites. And these were their names: from the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, son of Zakur; from the tribe of Shimon, Shaphat, son of Hori; from the tribe of Yehuda, Caleb, son of Yefunah; from the tribe of Issachar, Yagil, son of Joseph; from the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun; from the tribe of Benjamin, Paldi, son of Raphu; from the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Sodi; from the tribe of Joseph, named the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, the son of Sushi; from the tribe of Dan, Gamil, son of 12 again. From the tribe of Dan, Amir, son of Gamali; from the tribe of Asher, Setur, son of Mikael; from the tribe of Naphtali, Nachbi, son of Wopshi; from the tribe of Gad, Geuel, son of Makshi. These were the names of the men whom Moshe sent to scout the land. But Moshe changed the name of Hoshea, son of Nun, to Yehoshua. When Moshe sent them to scout the land of Canaan, he said to them, "Go up there into the Negev and onto the hill country, and see what kind of country it is. Are the people who dwell in it strong or weak, few or many? Is the country in which they dwell good or bad? Are the towns they live in open or fortified?" 20. Is the soil rich or poor? Is it watered or not? And take pains to bring back some of the fruit of the land. Now it happened to be the season of first ripe grapes. They went up and scouted the land from the wilderness to Zin, to Rehob, to Lebo Hamath. They went up to the Negev and came to Shepron, where lived Iman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the Anakites. Now Chaldeans was founded 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. They reached the Wadi Eshcol, and there they cut down a branch with a single cluster of grapes. It had to be borne on a carrying frame by two of them, and some pomegranates and figs. That place was named the Wadi Eshcol because of the cluster that the Israelites cut down there. 25. At the end of 40 days, they returned from scouting the land. Let me read this again. Very important. At the end of 40 days, they returned from scouting the land. Now, remember, they were there 40 days. They went straight to Moshe and Aaron and the whole Israelite community at Kadesh in the wilderness Paran, and they made a report to them and to the whole community as they showed them the fruit of the land. This is what they told them. We come to the land you send us to. It does indeed flow with milk and honey, and this is the fruit. However, the people who inhabit the country are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw Amalekites there. Amalekites dwelt in the Negev region. Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites inhabit the hill country, and Canaanites dwelt by the sea and along the Jordan. Good. Caleb hushed the people before Moshe and said, "Let us by all means go up, and we all." Caleb hushed the people before Moshe and said, Let us by all means go up, and we shall gain possession of it, for we shall surely overcome it. But the men who had gone up with him said, We cannot attack the people, for it is stronger than we. Thus they spread calumnies among the Israelites about the land that they scouted, saying, The country that we traverse and scout is one that devours its settlers. All the people that saw in it are men of great size. We saw Nephilim there, and Anakites are part of the Nephilim, and we looked like grasshoppers to ourselves, and so we must have looked to them. Chapter 14. And the whole community broke into loud cries, and the people wept that night. All the Israelites railed against Moshe and Aaron. If only we had died in the land of Egypt. The whole community shouted at them. Or if only we might die in this wilderness. Why is Yahweh taking us to the land to fall by the sword? Our wives and children will be carried off. It would be better for us to go back to Egypt. And they said to one another, Let us head back to Egypt. Then Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly congregation of the Israelites, and Yehoshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, of those who had scouted the land, rent their clothes, and exhorted the whole Israelite community. The land that we traversed and scouted is an exceedingly great good land. If Yahweh is pleased with us, he will bring us into the land, a land that flows with milk and honey, and give it to us. Only you must not rebel against Yahweh. Have no fear then of the people of the country, for they are our prey. Their protection has departed from them, but Yahweh is with us. Have no fear with them. You know, that reminds me of a saying I once heard from a friend when I was over in Miami back in the late 90s, early to late 90s. And he told me, you know, how people are always afraid of the giants in our lives. He once told me, we are not food for the giants that attack us, but the giants are our food, our bread for tomorrow. Very interesting. Verse 10. As the whole community threatened to pelt them with stones, the presence of Yahweh appeared in the tent of meeting to all the Israelites. And Yahweh said to Moses, how long will this people spurn me? And how long will they have no faith in me, despite all the signs that I have performed in their midst? They already forgot the signs of Egypt that God showed. I will strike them with pestilence and disown them, and I will make of you a nation far more numerous than they. But Moses said to Yahweh, when the Egyptians from whose midst you brought up this people in your mind hear the news, they will tell it to the inhabitants of the land. Now they have heard that you, Yahweh, are in the midst of this people, that you, Yahweh, appear in plain sight when your cloud rests over them, and when you go before them in the pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night. If then you slay this people to a man, the nations who have heard you, your fame will say, it must be because Yahweh is powerless to bring that people into the land he had promised them, an oath that he slaughtered them in the wilderness. Therefore, I pray, let my Lord's forbearance be great, as you have declared, saying, Yahweh, slow to anger and abundant in kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgression, yet not remitted all punishment, but visited the iniquity of fathers upon children, upon the third and fourth generation. Pardon, I pray, the iniquity of this people, according to your great kindness, as you have forgotten these people ever since Egypt. 19 again. Pardon, I pray, the iniquity of this people, according to your great kindness, as you have forgiven this people ever since Egypt. 20. And Yahweh said, I pardon as you have asked. Nevertheless, as I live, and as Yahweh's presence fills the whole world, none of the men who have seen my presence and the signs that I have performed in Egypt and in the wilderness, and who have tried me these many times and have disobeyed me, shall see the land that I promised an oath to their fathers. None of those who spurn me shall see it, but my servant Caleb, because he was imbued with a different spirit and remained loyal to me, him will I bring into the land that he endured, and his offspring shall hold it as a possession. 25. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites occupy the valley. Start out then tomorrow and march into the wilderness by way of the Sea of Reeds. Yahweh spoke further to Moshe and Aaron. How much longer shall that wicked community keep muttering against me? Very well, I have heeded the incessant muttering of the Israelites against me. Say to them, as I live, says Yahweh, I will do to you just as you have urged me. In this wilderness shall your carcasses drop, of all of you who are recorded in your various lists from the age of 20 years up, you who have muttered against me. 30. Not one shall enter the land in which I swore to settle you, said Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Jehoshua, son of Nun, your children who you said would be cut off. These will I allow to enter. They shall know the land that you have rejected. But your carcasses shall drop in this wilderness, while your children roam the wilderness for 40 years, suffering for your faithfulness, until the last of your carcasses is bound in the wilderness. You shall bear your punishment for 40 years, correspond to the number of days, 40 days, that you scouted the land, a year for each day. Thus you shall know what it means to thwart me. 35. I, Jehovah, have spoken. Thus will I do to all that wicked band that has banded together against me. In this very wilderness they shall die to the last man. As for the men from Moshe sent to scout the land, those who came back and caused the whole community to mutter against him by spreading calumnies about the land, those who spread such calumnies about the land died or plagued by the will of Yahweh. Of those men who had gone to scout the land, only Jehoshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh survived. When Moshe repeated these words to all the Israelites, the people were overcome by grief. Early next morning, they set out toward the crest of the hill countryside. We are prepared to go up to the place that Yah has spoken of, for we were wrong. But Moshe said, why do you transgress Yahweh's command? This will not succeed. Do not go up, lest you be routed by your enemies, for Yahweh is not in your midst. For the Amalekites and Canaanites will be there to face you, and you will fall by the sword, inasmuch as you have turned from following Yahweh, and Yahweh will not be with you. Yet definitely they march towards the crest of the hill country, toward not for neither Yahweh, Aaron, Haftarah, nor Moshe stirred from the camp. And the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwelt in that hill country came down and dealt them a shattering blow at Hormah. Chapter 15. Chapter 15, 1. Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to Bnei Israel and say to them, when you enter the land that I am giving you to settle in, Now I will present an offering by fire to Yahweh from the herd or from the flock, be it burnt offering or sacrifice in fulfillment of a vow explicit uttered, or as a freewill offering, or at your fixed occasion, producing an order pleasing to Yahweh. That person who presents the offering to Yahweh shall bring as a meal offering a tenth of a measure of choice flour with a quarter of a hin of oil mixed in. You shall also offer with the burnt offering or the sacrifice a quarter of a hin of wine as a libation for each sheep. In the case of a ram, you shall present as a meal offering 2/10 of a measure of choice flour with a third of a hin of oil mixed in, and a third of a hin with wine as a libation, as an offering to pleasing order of Yahweh. And if it is an animal from the herd that you offer to Yahweh as a burnt offering or as a sacrifice in fulfillment of a vow explicitly uttered, or as an offering or well-being, there shall be offered a meal offering along with the animal, 3/10 of a measure of choice flour with half a hin of oil mixed in, and as libation you shall offer half a hin of wine. These being offered by fire of pleasing odor to Yahweh. Thus shall be done with each ox, with each ram, and with any sheep or goat. As much as you offer, you shall do thus with each one, as many as there are. Every citizen, when presenting an offering by fire or pleasing order to Yahweh, shall do so with them. And when throughout the ages a stranger who has taken up residence with you, or on who lives among you, would present an offering by fire or pleasing odor to Yahweh, as you do, so shall he be done by. 15. The rest of the congregation there shall be one law for you and for the resident stranger. It shall be a law for all time, throughout all the ages. You and the stranger shall be alike before Yahweh. The same ritual and the same rule all apply to you and to the stranger who resides among you. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Bnei Israel and say to them, when you enter the land to which I am taking you, you shall eat of the bread of the land. You shall set some aside as a gift to Yahweh. 20. As the first yield of your baking, you should set aside a loaf as a gift. You shall set aside as a gift like the gift from the threshing floor. You shall make a gift to Yahweh from the first yield of your baking throughout the ages. If you unwittingly fail to observe any one of those commandments that Yahweh has declared to Moshe, anything that Yahweh has enjoined upon you through Moshe, from the day that Yahweh gave the commandments and on through the ages, if this was done unwittingly throughout the inadvertentness of the commune, or the whole commune shall present an half of a herd as a burnt offering and pleasing odor to Yahweh, with its proper meal, offering and libation, and one he-goat as sin offering. 25. The Kohanim shall make expiation for the whole Israelite community, and they shall be forgiven, for it was an error. And for the error they have brought their offering, an offering by fire to Yahweh, and their sin offering before Yahweh. The whole Israelite community and the stranger residing among them shall be forgiven, for it happened to the entire people through error. In case it is an individual who has sinned unwittingly, he shall offer a she-goat in his first year as a sin offering. The Kohanim shall make expiation before Yahweh on behalf of the person who erred with a sin, for he sinned unwittingly, making such an expiation for him that he may be forgiven. For the citizen among the Israelites and for the stranger who resides among them, you shall have one ritual for everyone who acts in error. But the person, be a citizen or stranger, who acts defiantly reviles Yahweh, that person shall be cut off from among the people. Besides, he has spurned the word of Yahweh and violated his commandment. That person shall be cut off. He bears his guilt. Once, when the Israelites were in the wilderness, they came upon a man gathering wood on the Sabbath day. Those who found him as he was gathering wood brought him before Moshe, Aaron, and the whole community. He was placed in custody, for it had not been specified what should be done with him. 35. Then Yahweh spoke to Moshe, the man shall be put to death. The whole community shall pelt him with stones outside the camp. So the whole community took him outside the camp and stoned him to death, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. Yahweh said to Moshe as follows, Speak to Bnei Israel and instruct them to make for themselves fringes on the corners of their garments. Throughout the ages, let them attach a cord of blue to the fringe at each corner. They shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall all the commandments of Yahweh and observe them, so that you do not follow your heart and your eyes and your lustful urge. 40. Thus you shall be remembered to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I, Yahweh, am your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, Yahweh, your God. Thus concludes the reading of Numbers. Let's turn to the book. Let's turn to the book of Joshua in the Tanakh and read from verse 1 to verse 24. Joshua chapter 2, verse 1. Joshua the son of Nun secretly sent 2 spies from Shittim, saying, Go, reconnoiter the region of Jericho. So they set out, and they came to the house of a harlot named Rahab and lodged there. The king of Jericho was told, Some men have come here tonight, Israelites, to spy out the country. The king of Jericho thereupon sent orders to Rahab, Produce the men who came to you and and entered your house, for they have come to spy out the whole country. The woman, however, had taken the 2 men and hidden them. Is it true, she said? The men did come to me. Verse 4 again. The woman, however, had taken the 2 men and hidden them. It is true, she said. The men did come to me, but I didn't know where they were from. And at dark, when the gate was about to be closed, the men left, and I don't know where the men went. Quickly, go after them, for you can overtake them. Now she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them under some stalks of flax, which she had laid on the roof. So the men pursued them in the direction of the Jordan, down to the fords, and no sooner had the pursuers gone out than the gate was shut behind them. The spies had not yet gone to sleep when she came up and to them on the roof. She said to them, I know that Yahweh has given the country to you, because threat of you has fallen upon us, and all the inhabitants of the land are quaking before you. 10. For we have heard how Yahweh had dried up the waters of the Sea of Reeds for you when you left Egypt, and what you did to Sihon and Og, the 2 Amorite kings across the Jordan, whom you doomed. When we heard about it, we lost heart, and no man had any more spirit left because of you. But Yahweh, your God, is the only Yahweh in heaven above, on the earth below. Now, since I have shown loyalty to you, swear to me by Yahweh that you in turn will show loyalty to my family. Provide me with a reliable sign that you will spare the lives of my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and save them from death. The men answered her, our persons are pledged for yours, even to death, if you do not disclose this mission of ours. We will show you truly loyalty when Yahweh gives us the land. She let them down by the rope through the window, for her dwelling was at the outer side of the city wall, and she lived in the actual wall. She said to them, make for the hill, so that the pursuers may not come upon you. Stay there in hiding 3 days until the pursuers return them to your way. Then go your way. But the men warned her, we will be released from this oath which you have made us take, unless when we invade the country, you tie this length of crimson cord to the window through which you let us down. Bring your father, your mother, your brother, and all your family together in your home. And if anyone ventures outside the doors of your house, his blood will be on his hand, and we shall be clear. But if a hand is laid on anyone who remains in the house with you, his blood shall be on our heads. 20. And if you disclose this mission of ours, we shall likewise be released from the oath which you made to us, which you made us take. 20. And if you disclose this mission of ours, we shall likewise be released from the oath which you made us take. She replied, let it be as you say. She sent them on their way, and they left, and she tied the crimson cord to a window, to the window. And 21, and she replied, let it be so. She sent them on their way, and they left, and she tied the crimson cord to the window. They went straight to the hills and stayed there 3 days, and the pursuers turned back, and so the pursuers, searching all along the road, did not find them. Then the 2 men came down again from the hills and crossed over. They came to Joshua, son of Nun, and reported to him all that had happened to them. They said to Joshua, Yahweh has delivered the whole land into our power. In fact, all the inhabitants of the land are quaking before us. This concludes the reading of Joshua chapter 2 about taking over Jericho. If we set this aside and open to Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 3, 17, 18, and 19. Shalom. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 17. And with whom was he loathed for 40 years? Was it not with those who sinned, whose corpses fell in the wilderness? And to whom did he swear that they would not enter into his rest, but to those who did not obey? So we see that they were unable to enter in because of unbelief. Thus concludes the reading of the Torah portion for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope that it gives you something to think about. Father, we come to you right now in the name of Yeshua, and we ask that you help us and guide us, Lord, that we obey you and not have to walk in the wilderness forever, or let us die in the wilderness. We come before you and we ask to teach us your truth and your righteousness and who you are. Father, we also ask that you shine your light onto our path and that you fill us with your shalom. And we thank you for everything. We ask that you be with the country of Israel, the nation, I should say, and that you be with its people, that you help them and guide them through all their troubles, Father. And remember the promise that you have made Joshua, when you said in Joshua 1, that you never will leave them nor forsake them. So, Father, we give you praise, glory, and honor, and we thank you in Yeshua's name. Amen. Till next week, for Torah and coffee, Shalom.